All right, gang, we're going to get started here with the lesson on She's Always a Woman by Billy Joel. First of all, take a notice of where we are on the keyboard. Find middle C, which on mine is right here. So as you can see, we're kind of on the low end of the piano on this. Okay, so here's where middle C is. This song was recorded in E flat, so that's what I'm going to teach it to you in. And then of course you can use your transposition key as needed if you need to bring it down a little bit to sing or whatever. What I want you to do is I want you to find octaves find middle C, the E flat below it, put your left thumb on that E flat there. And your pinky on the E flat, an octave below that. Okay? That's where your left hand's going to start. And your right hand is going to be in this basic position here with your pinky on the E flat just above middle C. Your index finger on the B flat just below middle C. And your thumb here on a G just below that. That's an E flat major chord, and this is the basic playing position that you're going to be in She's Always a Woman. You'll work your way up and down just a little bit, but for the most part you're going to be right in this neighborhood almost through the whole song. So there are essentially about maybe 3 or 4 sections in this song. We're going to start with the first section, which is the intro, which is very much kind of just strumming chords in a way. I say strumming, you don't really strum a piano, but it's kind of like that. I'll play through it once and then I'll break it down and show you how to do it. It's the part that goes like this. And then from there you get to go into the signature. So we're going to work through this first section here and just kind of go through those chord strums, as I like to call them, and then the next section we'll work on will be the initial. Alright, so start out with, we're right here in this spot that I told you, pinky and thumb and an octave on these 2 E flats. And remember, here's middle C, so it's 1 E flat below middle C and then the E flat below that. And your right hand is right where we talked about with your thumb on this G and this B flat with, I don't care if you use your middle finger or your index finger. I like to use my index finger here. And then I tend to use my 4th finger actually a lot up here on this E flat. That's really up to you. I'm not here to dictate technique to you. I think that a lot of piano teachers would advise you to use pinkies, or not pinkies, but the 4th finger on black keys like this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I think you should find one that you're comfortable with and get used to it. I think your comfort level is more important than anything else. So pick or choose, but I tend to use my 4th finger. So we're here. So your first chord is actually just this E flat here. The second part is exactly the same, except you're going to move your thumb from this G up to an A flat. So you're still on an E flat and a B flat here, but you're going to play an A flat along with it, and then the octaves, E flats in the bass there. So it's from here to here. Excuse me. See? It creates what we call a suspension chord. If you're familiar with chord symbols, you don't have to be to learn this, but for those of you who are, that creates an E flat suspended. Okay, so from here to here, and then back to this E flat chord that we started on, okay, which is just G, B flat, and E flat. Okay, so 1, 2, back to here, and then it changes to a B flat chord. Okay, so you're going to move your left hand down to octave B flats, down. So from here to here. So you're here. And this song is kind of in a, I like to feel it kind of in two, but it's a triplet feel. So I think of it as 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? But what's going on under that is, what's going on underneath that is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and that's what's kind of happening underneath. So these are all kind of on the downbeats, if you will. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just for tempo and whatnot, you can slow it down as much as you need to. It can be this slow while you're learning the chords. You know, so think in your head, if you have to, use 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You know, pretend like you're a recording that's been slowed way down. You know, sound like a dork, but you know, however slow you need to be. But when you move down to the B flat chord there with your left hand on these B flats, where your right hand goes, as you were here on this E flat chord, your thumb moves down to an F. Your index finger moves down, or stays right here on a B flat. And your fourth finger moves down to a D. The D just above middle C there. So you were here, and then you moved to here. See, pretty slick. This is a B flat chord in the second inversion for those of you who understand chord symbols. If you don't, just pay attention to what I'm doing. You don't need to understand chord symbols, but if you do understand chord symbols, I'll always reference it that way because it might make it a little faster for you to pick it up. Okay? Just another reference. So here we are. We've learned this far. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Sorry. See, I make mistakes all the time. Don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, this next thing that you do is you're here in this B flat chord, and you're going to play a different inversion of the B flat chord with your right hand. You're going to move up to, actually what I do is I just move my pinky up here and play this F right there. So you who are playing here, I just go ahead and move my pinky up here and I come down on the B flat with my index finger, the D with my fourth finger, or ring finger I guess, and that F with my pinky. And it's a little bit different tempo. What we've been doing is coming down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because this is a shorter note. I'll play it in tempo for you, for those of you who aren't familiar, but it's going to be on the 3 if you're counting it in threes like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Don't need to do anything with your left hand. It's 1, 2, 3. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we come down and we're going to play a different inversion of the E flat chord, the second inversion. You're going to come back to E flat bass on your left, right here, where we were. And I come down with my index finger on B flat. And I like to put my flip off finger on E flat. And my pinky finger on G here. Okay, so there's your chord. So we've gone, now we're to here. So 1, 2, there we go. 3, 1, if you're counting it. So you were going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See how that works? In real time, at the right tempo, it'd be about like this. Excuse me. See? Okay? So now that we're here, the next chord you're going to play is an A flat major in the first inversion. What you're going to be doing is you're going to bring your thumb down on a C. You're going to bring your pinky, or not your pinky, your index finger down on an E flat. And I like to use my fourth finger, my ring finger here, on an A flat. Okay, so C, E flat, A flat. And you're still over an E flat bass. So you were here. Okay? And then back to that E flat chord, which is B flat, E flat, G. Okay? So again, that line, that part of the line goes like this. Okay? So the entire little intro to the song at tempo looks like this. Okay? Now I'm going to slow it down a little bit, take it at this, take it at a slower tempo and just try and play it smoothly. Work on that at a slower tempo. 1, 2, 3, 1, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? You've now learned the intro to the song, or at least this part of the video will teach you the intro to the song. No problem. Now we're going to move into the first line of where he's singing. The good news is that most of what we're going to learn is very much repetitive, and it repeats itself throughout the tune. So where we're going to start, you were here. So the singing begins on a B flat chord. So you move down to octave B flats, okay? And it's a B flat chord in the first inversion. I tend to play it, like I say, with my index finger down on B flat. If you want to do it with your thumb, that's fine too. But that really is a matter of comfort level for you. So this is how I do it. I play the B flat with my index finger. I play a D with my flip off middle finger and an F with my pinky. So there's your chord. And again, we're just on the downbeats. It's she can kill with a smile. Okay, she can kill with a... The next chord is just back to this E flat that we were just on. B flat, E flat, G. So again, you've come out of she can kill with a smile, okay? you can play octaves or you can just play one note at a time down here, but it's a B flat bass. I'm gonna let you make that choice, okay? This isn't about telling you exactly how to play everything all the time. It's about giving you, you know, the right blueprint, but you know, some of your own artistic license is going to play into this over time as you get more comfortable. So I will teach you a way to play it that sounds right, and then, you know, you may doctor it a little bit. I don't ever play it exactly the same way twice. They're just very tiny differences that I don't even notice anymore because I've gotten so, it just becomes so ingrained in my head where the chords are, and I guarantee you Billy Joel doesn't play it exactly the same way either. It just sounds, it's about 90% the same, and so it's imperceptible to most people's ears as to what changes are being made. So anyway, we've gotten through that first little bit. So you go, she can kill with a smile. And then you come right back to this B flat chord, which was B flat, D, and F. She can wound with her eyes. And on eyes, you're back to that E flat chord we were just on, which is B flat, E flat, and G with an octave bass on E flat. So to recap, you've come out of the intro, and it says, so you were here. She can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes. Or in octaves it would be, she can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes. Okay? Now the next thing that you do is you're going to come down on this E flat chord that you're already on, and in the bass you're going to walk it up to an A flat, meaning you start here, okay, on an E flat. I use my fourth finger, you could use your pinky or whatever you want. E flat, F, G, A flat. Okay? Now the way I do it, because I like to use my index finger on black keys most of the time instead of my thumb, you know, of course there's exceptions to that rule. I like to play E flat with my ring finger, F with my middle finger, come down on G with my thumb, and then play A flat with my index finger. If you have another method that works for you, that's fine. I'm not here to police your technique, as I've said. And I'm not there in person anyway to like slap you with a ruler or anything, so don't worry. Okay? And you just play this chord right over the top of that, like so. Okay? Now on A flat, when you come down on this note, what you're going to do is you were here. Now you're going to play an A flat chord in the first, not the first inversion, but just the basic tonic is what they call it. So that when you're here, you're going to be playing an A flat chord like this. A flat on the bottom, C in the middle, and E flat on top. Okay? Now I like to play it like this with my index finger, third finger on C, and ring finger on E flat, and I'll show you why. You could do it here if you wanted. You could play it thumb, middle finger, E flat. That's comfortable for some people. Okay? Okay? So that's where we're headed. She can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes, she can ruin your faith. Okay? Now you're going to stay on A flat on the bass for a little while here, and you could be on octaves or just the single note. Okay? So here's your first one, which we already learned. The second chord, you're on an A flat bass, you're going to move your thumb down from A flat to a G, but your index finger and either your third finger or fourth finger or pinky, whatever, is still on E flat. Okay? So it kind of looks like a C minor chord in its second inversion over an A flat bass, because what we're playing is an A flat major 7th chord. Okay? From there, you move your thumb down one more peg to an F, still keeping on C and E flat with an A flat bass. That's creating an A flat 6 chord. Then you move yourself back to the A flat major 7th, so you move your thumb back to a G, and you're on C and E flat still. Okay? And then you're back to this A flat chord like so. Okay, now here's how it plays out. I'm going to play it in real time so you can see what it does. This is adding a little flavor, so it's she can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies. Okay? Now I lied to you. You don't go back to that A flat chord from this. So you were here, then down to here, then down to here, then back to here. Now you're going to a B flat chord. So you move your left hand up to a B flat octave. Your thumb is on F. This is a B flat dominant 7th chord. This finger, your index finger, is on A flat, and your 4th finger comes down on a D, as in dog. Okay? That's where you're at. And from here we move to the E flat chord that we've played a number of times. You just shift this, go to E flat octaves with your left hand, and you shift your thumb to G, your index finger to B flat, and your 4th finger or your pinky comes down on E flat. So in other words, again in real time where we were, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, and she only reveals. Then we go back down to this B flat 7 chord. So from the E flat we just shift ourselves down to B flats in the left hand, down to F on the thumb, A flat on the index finger, and D on the 4th finger. And she only reveals. We're back to E flat. She only reveals what she wants you. That's where we're at. So just to recap where we're at, because I know that as we slow this down it gets a little confusing, but she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, and she only reveals what she wants you. This is where we finally kind of change up and play something different. We go to a G major chord. So your octaves in the left hand go down to a G, okay? And it's a G7. So what you're gonna do is you keep your thumb on F, your index finger or your middle finger, I don't care, goes to a B, and either your pinky or your 4th finger hits a D. So we've gone from here to here, here to here. Okay? So in other words, what it's saying is she only reveals what she wants you to see. Okay? So we actually play that twice on the downbeats. See. Okay? She only reveals what she wants you to see. Now we go to a C minor chord, which, so you hit C's in your bass, you're going to come up on G with your thumb, the bird finger, middle finger, comes down on a C, E flat on either the pinky or the fourth finger, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay? And you keep this chord consistent for the second. You play this once, then you play it again, except you move your left hand down to a B flat. So it's the same chord in the right hand twice. Then you move to an A flat chord, which is 2 A flats in the bass, and A flat, C, and E here, however you want to play it. I like to use these guys. If you want to do it like this, or I don't care, whatever, but A flat, C, and E flat. And then you play this chord again over a B flat bass. Okay, so you move from A flat to B flat in the left hand, but you play the same chord in the right hand. And then the next thing that we come into will be the kind of, so we'll get into that in a minute, but let's recap where we have been. We started out, I'm just gonna play this from She Can Ruin Your Faith with Her Casual Lies, because that's what we've been working on just lately. So, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, and she only reveals what she wants you to see. She hides like a child, but she's always a woman to me. Okay? I'm going to play that through one more time because I think watching it in real time can be very helpful. You can always go back and get the individual chords spelled out for you, but I think it's important to see this being played in real time. So, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, and she only reveals what she wants you to see. She hides like a child, but she's always a woman to me. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the beginning of the song. I'm going to play from the intro all the way to that point, all the way through, so that you have that to watch, and just kind of, because like I say, you can always go back and check out the individual chords, but I think the continuity aspect is very important too. So, here we go. She can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, and she only reveals what she wants you to see. She hides like a child, but she's always a woman to me. Okay? That's your whole opening phrase of the song. Now the good news is, when we get into the part that is what I would consider the real signature, the signature sound of She's Always a Woman, which is a lot of it is going to be in this same position, a lot of these very same chords, and you'll see if you were playing these three notes, you're still going to be playing those three notes. It's just that you'll be what we call arpeggiating them instead of just playing them like so. Arpeggio simply means that you take the notes of a chord and you play them in succession. See, instead of just playing them together like this, I'm playing them in succession like so. So what I want you to get used to, pretty much through the whole song, what you're going to be doing is working your way from the bottom of a chord to the top of the chord in your right hand, okay? So what I would do is just, this is a real quick exercise you can do to get yourself used to it. Just stay here on an E flat chord. In your left hand, just play these octaves, okay? And on this G, B flat, E flat, just go up and just go up, and then repeat the phrase. So 1, 2, 3, G flat, B flat, E flat, G flat, B flat, E flat. And what you want to do is you want to pick your tempo, and it doesn't matter how slow it is, but I would suggest starting with something a little bit slower. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to be playing eighth notes on that. So these are quarter notes, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? So just practice that for a few minutes and get your hand used to it, because that's what you're going to be doing through this whole song is. Hand is coming down on these, you know, it's playing essentially a dotted half note. It's 3 counts, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And as you pick the tempo up, it becomes more She's Always a Woman tempo, which is about here. So when you come in, she's always a woman to me. Your first line is in fact this E flat arpeggio, G, B flat, E flat, twice. So, and then it goes to that suspension chord. Remember when we played this? Same thing, only you're arpeggiating it, so it goes to A flat, B flat, E flat twice. Okay, so you were here, then here, then back to the E flat, so you're G, B flat, E flat. So you're here twice, here twice, here twice. Then it's a B flat twice. A B flat 7 actually. So it's, you go to a B flat bass, either in octaves or just this one, I don't care. F to A flat to D. Okay, twice. Okay, so let's recap that. Okay, I'm going to play it even a little bit slower one more time so you can get a really, really good look at this and follow my fingers. So essentially what happens is you came out, she do, but she's always a woman to me. Okay? Now for those of you who want to, you can, if you want, move yourself back and forth between an E flat and a B flat bass. When you go, you can put a B flat bass over that suspension arpeggio. You don't have to. You can play it like this. Or you can play it like this. much your choice. So I think I do it both ways, just depending on what mood I'm in. So feel free to experiment with that. I will try to remember to just play it straight on the E flats for the purposes of simplifying this video a little bit, but that's a choice, that's an option that you have. Okay, now from there you move back to E flat, which is just this guy. Okay, and you play it twice. Okay, and then you're back to B flat 7 again, and you play that twice. F, A flat, D, and then back to E flat. So she's always a woman to me. She can lead you to love. She can take you or leave you. Okay, so you play this through twice again. So again, to recap that, you are we get to do something a little bit fun, just a little bit. After you come out of that, you're going to bring your pinky up and you're going to hit this G right here, the G above middle C. Okay, you are essentially, what you're going to do is G, then this G, so like an octave, bum bum. Then this F, then that G again, then this E flat, and that G. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So what it looks like is the other thing I would maybe a little nuance that you could put in there to make it a little easier is when you come to this E flat, rather than following it with the G, you might want to follow it with this B flat. So that is that the next note you have to hit is this G, and that prevents you from having to go. You know, that's kind of a, it can be done, that's not a problem, but if you get into the habit of going, then it just flows a little bit nicer. So you are G, 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 F, G, E flat, B flat. Okay. And in real time again, it's okay. Now you're just going to play your little E flat arpeggio that we've already played about a gazillion times. You're going to play that twice again. And underneath that, you're going to walk this bass up just like we did before. E flat, F, G. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's maybe going to be a little tricky for some of you, but keep practicing it. It will come. Some of these things, your brain just has to get used to it. Remember, when you try something new, Think about when you were little and you were walking, you know, or trying to learn how to walk. You fell over a lot of times before you finally figured out how to balance it and all that. But once the narrow pathways were created up there to support it, you had no trouble with it ever again. And the same is true with this. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One last time. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to try and kind of accent what's being played in my right hand as you strike each of these notes. So, okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now, come to the A flats. Remember, we had this chord, A flat, C, and E flat, and there's your arpeggio. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, remember, we went like this. We were here, and then we went to here, and then we went to here, and then back to here, right? Well, guess what? These arpeggios follow that same pattern. You're here, then to here, then to here, then back to here. So A flat, C, E flat twice, G, C, E flat twice, F, C, E flat twice, G, C, E flat twice, all over an A flat bass. So I'll slow it down even a little more to make sure you can see that. Okay, and then you're moving to a B flat 7 chord, which is here where we were, which is the F, A flat, D, and the B flat bass twice, then back to E flat like we've played twice, then back to B flat 7, then the G7. Remember, we played this chord, and it's arpeggiated exactly the same way. So F, B natural, D, F, B natural, D. Okay? So let's kind of recap. I'm gonna play the I'm gonna play from the part where we go. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll just start right where this section with the started. Okay. So she's always a woman. I'm gonna play it a little bit slower, so follow along in real time. She's always a woman to me. that's where we're at. Now I'm going to play it in real tempo for you, all the way from that point. Who is a woman to me? Okay. Now, from here, what the line looks like in real time is this. So, you were here on a G7. You already played this twice. Now you bring your pinky down on a G up here. Okay, so, and then you play that arpeggio again. Okay? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and then you bring your pinky down on an F. And then I like to play the B natural. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and all over a G bass. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and here, remember, we're playing on the downbeats of the 3-beat measure. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we move to this C minor business. Remember, we were here before? So it's same thing. Your arpeggio is G, C, E flat with a C bass. So you play that twice. And then go to a B flat bass and keep the arpeggio the same. G, C, E flat. Then you're on an A flat, and that's an A flat, C, E flat arpeggio, just like we played in the chord. So, and then you move to a B flat bass and keep the A flat arpeggio. That creates what we call a suspended 7th sound. Okay? And it's a little bit of tension that resolves when we come back to the E flat. See how that's got a kind of a okay? For those of you who are aware of that already, I apologize. I don't mean to insult your intelligence, but it's kind of a cool fact that was tension and release. Tension, release. So here's where we were. On that G chord, I'm going to play it slow and then I'll play it in real time, but I'm going to play it at the real tempo, and I'm going to play all the way through without stopping so you can see it. Well, I'll slow it down a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and at that tempo, it sounds like the Moonlight Sonata, you know. don't want to get sidetracked there, but in real time, at the real tempo, it looks like this. One more time. I'll play it one more time slow because I don't think you can ever get quite enough of these opportunities to watch it in real time, both slow and at the real tempo. And then we're back to something we've played already, which is this E flat. And then the suspension, which is the A flat to B flat to E flat. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to play all the way from the intro and through this section in real time so you can see how it all strings together. Okay, and so that brings us into where we come into the bridge, which is the part of the song that goes, oh, she takes care of herself. I know it's an octave up, I just don't feel like singing. Oh, she takes care of herself. Anyway, that's where we're at now. So let's start. It's the same concept. It's these little arpeggios going from low to high. And we start on a C minor. C minor, G, when you're starting with, it's a G to C to E flat arpeggio. And you're in a C bass. Now, I want you to pay a little bit of attention to what the bass is doing. I will show you the, I'm going to go through and show you the notes all the way through, but there's a pattern that it's following that I think is valuable for you to be thinking about. In real time, listen to it. It goes like this. Excuse me. So if you can hear that, the bass is going, it's like you're here and it's kind of working its way down like a scale almost. Doom, 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 then lower. Then back back up and you're doing it again. Dun dun dum 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 dum. Okay, so and that's the tempo too. 1, 3, dum dum dum, 1, 2, 3, bum boo dum dum bum dum bum bum bum. So that's your feel in the bass. And over the top of it, you have these arpeggios. So just kind of giving you a feel of what's happening there. So we're going to start with the C minor chord that I was talking about. I apologize, I had to switch tapes. Your arpeggio is G to C to E flat, and your bass is a C. And remember, it's you just play everything twice because it's 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay? So I'm just going to adjust my camera angle just ever so slightly. I never seem to quite get it exactly the way I had it before, as much as I try. But it looks like you can see everything in there to me, so we are going to press on. I'm going to make sure you get a bird's eye view of what I'm doing. That's all the higher we need to be. There's middle C, by the way. And that's the highest note you're going to play in the whole thing. So, okay. So, again, 1 and 2 and 3 and G to C to E flat. Your bass line is C's, then to a B flat, then to an A, then down to an F. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? What you're doing in your right hand is you're on a C minor arpeggio for 4 measures. For 2 measures, I should say. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then you move to an F dominant 7th arpeggio, which in this case is F to A natural, and then an E flat with your 4th finger. Okay? And you have that for 2 measures. So you're here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 over the bass it's at a faster tempo, it's excuse me. I need to pay attention to my own keyboard and stop looking at the camera all the time, because that's really what's going on there. Sometimes when I make these silly mistakes, it's because I'm staring up at the view screen on the camera instead of looking at the piano. So forgive me. Forgive me. I'm just constantly worried about what it's going to look like for you, and I apologize that gets in the way sometimes. It's just out of quality control desire, okay? I promise. Okay, So we learned this. Okay. Now we move to a B flat chord. It's a F to B flat to D arpeggio. And your bass line here is B flat, A, G, E flat. Okay. Your arpeggio here goes from a B flat major, which is F, B flat, D, to an E flat chord, which is G, B flat, E flat, like we've played. So in real time, but slower than the regular tempo, it is. Okay? Then you move to an A flat arpeggio, which is A flat, C, E flat. And the bass, of course, is an A flat, then to a G, then to an F, then to a D. Okay? So you're going from an A flat to C to E flat. There you go. A flat, C, E flat arpeggio. And I just keep it right there on the A flat, C, E flat when you go to that F. And then when you hit that D, you go to a B flat dominant 7th arpeggio, which we've played before, which is F, A flat, D. And you resolve up to your E flat major arpeggio here. And you play the suspension of it there with the A flat, B flat, E flat. Then back down to the regular G, B flat, E flat. Okay, so in real time, but I'll play it slower. I'm going to play that whole section. I'll play it slower than the regular tempo, but in tempo, you know, at a particular tempo. It goes like this. Okay, now at tempo, at the regular tempo of the song, it looks like this. Okay, so that'll get you all the way through. She takes care of herself. She can wait if she wants. She's ahead of her time. I did a terrible job singing it. That's okay, because I don't want to blow your microphone out there. It's awfully close to my voice, so I don't want to sing it in full pop, but just to let you know where we're at in the song. So you've just played now we have a little flavor thing here that we get to do, something kind of fun. In your E flat chord, you've just played something you're familiar with, which is now what you do is you put your pinky down on F and you play the F, and then you bring yourself right back down through the arpeggio in reverse. So it's F, E flat, B flat, G, then back up to B flat, E flat. So it's like this with an E flat bass. And what it does when you hear it in context, it sounds like this. Okay? Now, from here, we move into the second section where it's oh, and she never gives up. Okay? Now, this starts on an E flat minor arpeggio, which is G flat or F sharp, whatever you want. I think technically in theory it's a G flat because of the key we're in, but you know, it's this note right here. Alright, so I'm not going to get crazy with semantics about what you call it. If you want to call it an F sharp, feel free. Okay, so it's G flat to B flat to E flat. Okay, there's your minor sad sounding chord. Okay, you are on an E flat bass. Alright, so you play that arpeggio twice, just like we've always been. And then it goes to a D flat, dog flat bass. Okay? Now we move to an A flat arpeggio, which is A flat, C, E flat with a C bass. So you play it twice there, and then you move to an A flat bass and keep the same arpeggio. Okay? So the whole line is a little bit faster. It's from there we move to a D flat arpeggio or C sharp, this note. That arpeggio is A flat to D flat to F. And the bass line is D flat, C, B flat, G flat. Okay, now your arpeggio is here, A flat, D flat, F. I just keep that same thing happening there. I just keep the D flat arpeggio all the way through here, when you hit the G flat bass, you change to a G flat major arpeggio, which is B flat, D flat, and G flat. So a little bit slower, it looks like this. Sorry about that. Now we go to what is technically a C flat chord, but I don't like calling white keys flats and sharps. I don't really care what the music theory buffs will tell me. It's a B natural to me, which is right here. Okay, so B, you have an F sharp or a B or a G flat right here. Your index finger is on B natural, and your ring finger is on an E flat, okay? There's your arpeggio. The bass line is B natural, B flat, A natural, F, okay? B natural, B flat, A natural, F. Your arpeggio is F sharp, B natural, E flat, F sharp, B natural, E flat. So I'll do it a little slower. Now on A, what you have to do is you have to play an F sharp, an A natural, and an E flat. It's a diminished chord, essentially what's happening, which is a full diminished seventh chord. Sounds like this. Okay, kind of a creepy, but it's a transitional chord. So it's F sharp, A natural, E flat. When you come down to F, you simply move your thumb to an F and you're right back to something we've played before, which is this F, A natural, E flat. Okay, now that's the trickiest part of this whole thing, I think, is when you get to this B natural chord. So here we are. I'm going to play it really slow, and then I'll play it a little faster, and then a little faster again, so that you have plenty of video clips to watch my fingers on this. Faster is like this. And pretty close to the regular tempo is like this. Right at the regular tempo or thereabout is like so. Don't worry, your fingers will pick this up. So from here, you are on a B flat arpeggio, okay? F to B flat to D. Then on a suspension, which is F to B flat to E flat, then back to the B flat, which is F to B flat to D. Okay, and at real tempo it's like so. Okay? So, let me recap that from where we start on the E flat minor chord. Okay? In real time, at the real tempo, it's like this. Okay? Now I'm going to slow that down. I'm going to play that whole line at a much slower tempo, but not a snail's pace, so that you have that to go back and review. Sorry about that. I really botched that up. Take two, as we say in show business. Okay, now when you get out of that line, you are right back into stuff that we've already played. You're right back in, because what happens is the last bit of that, you start singing the next verse. So it's, you know, oh, and she never gives out, and she never gives in, she just changes her mind, she's frequently kind. Okay, so from where we just left off, you go right back into your E flat arpeggio, and it's just like the first verse where we learned how to go. Okay, so it's so what you need to do is refer back in the tape to when we learned where the verse would be. Let me see. It starts out, she can kill with a smile, she can win with her eyes. she can lead you to love. When we sing the part, she can lead you to love, she can take you or leave you. That's the exact same thing you're going to be playing on this next part when you come out of the bridge, which is the oh, she takes care of herself part. Alright? So she will promise you more than the Garden of Eden. Then she'll carelessly cut you and laugh while you're bleeding. Then she'll take what you give her as long as it's free. And she steals like a thief, but she's always a woman to me. Now, when we get to the part where he hums, where he says, it's nothing you haven't played before, but it's just a different part of the song. So what you do is you take the exact same thing that you play when he says, for instance, but she'll bring out the best and the worst you can be. Blame it all on yourself, 'cause she's always a woman to me. Only instead of that, you're humming and you're going, So where it's at, just to remind you, is it's a B flat 7th chord, which is here, F to A flat to D, and back to E flat, back to B flat 7, to G7, then the C minor over a B flat bass, A flat over A flat, A flat over B flat, and from here you are right where you were at the end of the first verse, where you're doing your little. And you're back to, and you're back. Right back to that part. Oh, she takes care of herself. Okay, so back to the part we just worked on. Oh, she takes care of herself. Okay. Just here, and you do this again. You sing one more verse. You know, she's frequently kind, and she's suddenly cruel. She can do as she pleases. She ain't nobody's fool. But she can't be convicted. She's earned her degree. I think we're here. Sorry. And okay, now. This is the one part that's a little different. At the end of the last verse, before it goes into the little humming, he says, and the most she will do is throw shadows at you, but she's always a woman to me. Now normally what you have is just this much. But he kind of extends that out a little bit on the last verse. So it's very similar. It's, you have your C minor arpeggio over a C, then over a B flat, then you have your A flat arpeggio over an A flat, then you do an E flat arpeggio, which is G, B flat, E over a G bass, like so. Then you do your A flat arpeggio again, only over an F bass. Then you do your A flat arpeggio over a B flat bass. So, in other words, it's like this. And then you're back to E flat, E flat suspension, E flat, and then you do your humming, which is you go back to the end of one of the verses, which starts on a B flat 7 to an E flat to a B flat 7 again to a G7. And then when you get to the end where you go, rather than play those arpeggios, you just play the chord. So it's a C minor chord over a C. Then over a B flat. Then A flat over A flat. Then A flat over B flat. And what you do on the very last, you play this E flat chord with the this second the second inversion, which is B flat, E flat, G. And then you play this A flat chord, which is C, E flat, A flat. And then back to the E flat chord here. Remember at the beginning of the song during the intro, it was... Okay, well we're back to that. Want to throw a little bit of a frill in, what you do is you just sort of like, I can't remember what the technical word is, but you just work your way from all the notes that you're playing and kind of strum them. Like so. Yeah. And that is the entire song. There's a lot of repetition in this song. I'm going to play it through all the way through the tune, and I'll sing it, and I hope that it doesn't completely overpower you. I am going to turn the transposition key down 1/2 step because I just feel more comfortable singing this a little lower. But this will give you a chance to see the whole thing in real time and get a feel. I mean, I'm sure you have a recording of the song, but this will show you everything. I'll try to play it the way I've taught you. I always play it mostly that way. Like I said, I tend to make small changes without thinking about it, but I don't mean to. Once you get familiar enough with chords, you'll do the same thing if you're not already. But I'll try to play it using the techniques that I've shown you, and you'll be able to get a feel for the whole song in its entirety the way it goes. She can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, and she only reveals what she wants you to see. She hides like a child, but she's always a woman to me. She can lead you to love, she can take you or leave you. She can ask for the truth, but she'll never believe you. And she'll take what you give her as long as it's free. She steals like a thief, but she's always a woman to me. Oh, she takes care of herself. She can wait if she wants. She's ahead of her time. Oh, and she never gives out, and she never gives in. She just changes her mind. She will promise you more than the Garden of Eden. Then she'll carelessly cut you and laugh while you're bleeding. But she'll bring out the best and the worst you can be. Blame it all on yourself, 'cause she's always a woman to me. time. Oh, and she never gives out, and she never gives in. She just changes her mind. She's frequently kind, then she's suddenly cruel. She can do as she pleases, she's nobody's fool. But she can't be convicted, she's earned her degree. And the most she will do is throw shadows at you. But she's always a woman to me. Well, enjoy. I hope that you have fun playing this song. I hope this helps you to play this song better. And remember something, gang, if you're not having fun when you're playing music, you are doing it wrong. Piano Man Steve out.